Hey guys, and welcome to Geeking with Gideros. Today we are going to take a look at texture packing. So last week we left off by creating multi-resolution assets of a ball image. Now, I did tell you guys last week that I was going to at some stage do tutorial or a walkthrough on texture packing, and I thought leading in from last week, today would be a really good time to get into it. It's quite important to get this sorted out as soon as possible, because this is definitely how you want to go about designing your game into the future. Now, instead of loading multi-resolution assets by creating a ball.png and a ball at 2x.png and so on, it is much better to create a texture pack with all your images on one atlas file or a texture pack file, and letting the texture pack program then create the different resolution assets. So I will show you exactly what we need to do. Now we are adding another tool to our arsenal. Gideros does have a texture packer, but because I do use some other software, some other development software as well, I do like using texture packer. I do also use other programs from Code and Web, which is the guys who make this, or guy who makes this. I think there's a single person who makes these programs. One of them I use for Gideros, and it's called Physics Editor. Not going to get into all the info on that, but it is definitely a good tool. So is texture packer. Texture packer allows you to, it's pretty much the industry standard with among game designers for 2D games, so it's definitely a good tool to use. So I've already installed it. I do recommend you guys buy a license for this. Let's just have a quick look at Code and Web. .com. Now, if you guys want to get, I think there is like a package, you can get all the different things. I don't really need Sprite Illuminator. You guys can have a look at that, but I'm sure it's good, and that's sort of shading on your sprites and stuff, but not really something that I currently need. I do, however, use these all the time. So texture packer, not really sure, I think it's 29 US, but it's brilliant software, and like I said, it exports to so many different engines. I think, just to double check, texture packer. Okay, so if you get the two, it's 50. If you buy it by itself, it's 39. So I do recommend getting these two, especially if you're going to make some physics games in the future. No, wait, these two if you're going to make some physics games in the future, because it does make your setting up the physics editor, makes setting up physics shapes a lot easier. Okay, so that's definitely cool. If you just need that, it's 40. I do really recommend getting the license for this. It's indispensable. I love using this software. So yeah, let's just open it up. Okay, so this is texture packer. We are going to create a new project. Oh wait, it's already, you don't need to do that. When you open texture packer, let's just do it again. It already opens, creates a new project for you. You just need to save it. So what happens here is we need to drag in or add some sprites. So we're going to go back into Adobe Animate, and we're going to export this at the highest resolution that we want to use. So again, we're working with a vector, so I can export this at 4 times the size, because at 4x is the highest version that we're using. Now, I do not want to label it at 4x. I'm going to let texture packer do that for me. So these images that I created last week, let's not worry about it. This is our original, and again, it is now sitting on a 320 by 480 pixel stage. This is our base. Okay, the image is 96 by 96 pixels. What we want to do is take this image, this vector image, and export. Again, you guys don't need this program, or I'm trying to explain how this works. Okay, so we want to export the ball at 4 times its size. Yes, we're going to overwrite the other one we did. We're going to delete the other file soon. So it's already on 288 dpi, and this is 4 times the size of 96 by 96. So let's export it, and it is just going to be ball. We are going to go into our folder, and if you have a look, our ball is going to be the same size as our at 4x. So that's exactly what we wanted. Okay, now I'm going to delete these. We don't need these anymore. Delete. Okay, so we've got ball, main.lua, and that's our project file, our Gideros project file. Now we're going to go to texture packer, and we're going to go add sprites, and we're just going to add the ball image. That's it. That's all we've got right now. Now, I've already selected Gideros as the framework. There are a whole bunch of other frameworks, as you see, but just go down, and I've been playing with this before I started recording, just so you know. It's not automatically selected as the default, so you guys will have to go and select it for yourselves. Just click on something, press G, and it'll pop up. Double click, you've got it there. Okay, now don't worry about any of the other options right now. The main things you've got to worry about is scaling variance. So you just click this little cog, and under scaling variance, okay, at the top here, you go generic at 4x, and you go apply. Everything is set up nicely there for you, and all we do is close this. Now all we have to do is select over here max size. I will select 4096. Now it will give you a little error here, not error, warning. The maximum texture size for mobile devices should not exceed 248. Now, I'm pretty sure what they're referring to is that if you're going to just use one texture file and it's going to be bigger than 248, yes, there are some devices that won't load that. So let's say if I try and load to 4096, something bigger than 4096 on an original iPhone, the phone is going to crash. So that's what it's trying to say. However, I am doing multi-resolution assets here. So I am only going to be loading this 4096 if the device can handle it. So we're still going to go ahead despite this warning, okay? Ignore in project, okay? Now, everything is good. Leave it at that. And what we're going to do here is save the data file. So as you see, we're in Geeking with Gideros the Imposter. So we're just going to save it as spec. You can go texture pack if you want to, and it's going to save it as txt as the data file. Now we do need to add just after the pack, after the K, just like it says here, append v. Okay, well, they'll let the program do it for us. Okay, so here it says data file must contain bracket v as part of the file name or path to work with AutoSD. So this is just so it works, and what it's going to do is it's going to, as you see, we've added the largest. Okay, it's going to create a 50% at 2x and a 25% original. So this one with the ball is going to be at 4x, and it's going to scale it down into other files for us. So we're going to let texture packer append the v. Puts it there for you. Now we're going to save the PNG image as well, and again we're going to call it pack. Why am I not calling it ball? Because other images will eventually go into this file. Save, and again append the v. Okay, so as you see, it's there. Now we're going to go save project, and we're going to save that project as pack as well. Save. Now we're going to have a look in our folder, and this is what you currently have. We've got our ball image, main.lua, the texture packer pack file, and our Gideros imposter project. So if I go back into texture packer, all I need to do now is click publish sprite sheet. Everything is set up, project is saved, publish sprite sheet. Click OK, everything's done. It tells you right here. Now we're going to have a look at our folder, and you will see that we have a pack, and where is our, so we should have a text file for that as well. Wait a second, where is it? So here is our peg. So it's misleading or can be confusing because we're just looking at a peg with a single image in it, but this is the peg. If it had more images in it, it would show a preview of all those little pictures in this little peg icon, okay? But it looks the same as the ball now just because it has a single one image only. So we've got peg and the peg text file. Same thing for the at2x, same thing for the at4x, and it's the project file again. So that's all set up. Now what we need to do in Gideros itself is take out all these because we don't need them anymore, okay? That's from last week, all those images. Now we go add existing files and we're going to add the peg txt, the at2x and the txt, at4x and the txt. So that's all your files. I'll just go right click sort and we've got peg.txt, at2x, at4x, okay? So these are your texture peg files. Now we are going to comment out this line. We should be deleting it, but I'll do that soon. And this is a comment, by the way. Okay, that means this line won't be activated by the program, won't be run by the program. And I've already done a test here just before, just to make sure everything was working correctly. And I'll just paste those lines in. So local peg equals texturepeg.new. Now this is telling to load, this is telling Gideros to load the pegs.txt. Again, you only have to load the standard. The other versions will be done by default. Gideros will handle all that as long as you've set up, under properties, these scaling modes, okay? These scaling image scales, 2 and 4, okay? So load the PNG, and this is just to make sure it's being anti-aliased. Now, as you see, this is the reason I commented it out, just to show you guys really quickly the comparison. Okay, so we've got local BMP, same thing, and we've got bitmap.new, but instead of going texture.new, we are now going peg and then get texture region. Okay, we're not using this flag at the end anymore because we've already done it on our texture peg, which you only have to declare once here. And so we're pulling this image out of the texture peg because there will be other files on it. If you see here, if I click on peg.png, you will see a little preview. Again, if there was other images on there, you'd see other images. Okay, so we're going to save this and we're going to click play, and I'm just going to select the player that I've already opened, and as you see, it's loading the ball. Now, because I have not included the at4x, at2x pictures on these, you will not visually see the same thing as last time, where I tried to show you just for a little bit of visual help that it's loading the correct image. But it definitely is loading the correct image because on the hardware we are on iPhone 6 Plus, so it is loading the at4x image, okay, or it's loading the image out of the at4x spreadsheet or atlas. Sorry, spreadsheet. I should be calling it, spreadsheet is a little bit different. Let's not get into spreadsheets right now. They're similar to texture packs, but not the same. Spreadsheets are mainly to do with a single animation, like a character running, and you know, that's a spreadsheet. You can have that. But atlases are, they can have non-related files. I mean, spreadsheets could have the same thing, but I think they're slightly different. Let's just call them by the proper name, atlases or texture packs. So I probably will be using those interchangeably, so just so you guys don't get confused. Okay, that was a lot of words. Now, we can take this line out. We'll save it again. And as you see, guys, you have exactly the same thing as you had last week, but now you can put all your images in here. You can have 20, 30, as long as it fits inside 4096 by 4096 for the largest, for the at 4x version, okay? Then you can fit as many, you try and fit as many images on there as you can, and then you can do multi-packing, and you can use multiple, keep wanting to call it spreadsheets, atlases, okay? And then all you have to do, again, we won't get into it right now, but all you have to do with Gideros is tell it to pull the image out of a different texture pack or an atlas, okay? So you would just go pack and pack 2, and then you'd basically declare a different variable, and you'd, instead of using pack, you just go pack 2. So it's that easy. You would just load another one and pull the things out of that. So you can have multiple texture packs. You can have one for your menu, one for level 1, one for level 2, and so on. There are many ways to use this, okay? If you are making a simple game and you want to put everything on one atlas, you can. One atlas / texture pack, same thing. You can, okay? It doesn't matter. You work out the way you want to use it. I often put, because I make level-based games, and usually I make games that have different graphics between levels, I usually do make a texture pack with my menu items and all the things that I reuse all the time, little pause button and things like that, and then I put all my level graphics into separate texture packs for the levels. So yeah, it's that easy. It's not a big deal. Like I said, Gideros does include its own texture packer, but I do like using Texture Packer, which is its official name, because it does export to other engines, and I do also use the Panda engine, which is an HTML5 engine, and it provides really lightweight HTML files, and it's brilliant, very similar to Gideros. And if you're ever wanting to play around with other things, or this has got I think I'll just have a quick look at what other frameworks it uses, right? So it's got Unity, Cocos 2D, Corona, just generic stuff. I don't think I think it's got everything on here. Like most see there's Panda, most things I can think of, most engines that I've seen. So yeah, lots and lots of engines. Like I said, this is pretty much the industry standard for 2D games, so that's why I like using it. I do find it indispensable, and I also use other tools from their website. So yeah, definitely worth the investment, guys. Give it a go. This is how you want to go about designing your game. So hopefully this was hopefully this was helpful, and really want to get into setting up our projects scaling next week. So actually getting it to display the way we want to on devices. So that means showing the right amount of stuff, not having black bars on the sides and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm hoping to get into next week. So we'll see how we go. But today's session was important, as this is definitely something that needed to be covered. Okay, I will see you guys next time.